What is up, guys? Welcome to another RST Blade video. The intelligent amongst you would realise that I am actually doing a sneaky voice over here. Yeah, putting on my gloves. And this is because my fucking GoPro microphone that I had broken and then reordered another one didn't work. And now I have to order another one, and so this footage has no audio. As you can see, we're in sunny England. Look at the beautiful tropical weather. Absolutely no rain whatsoever. Those people who say it never rains in England are lying to you. This is beautiful. Let's get cracking. In this video, I basically wanted to tell you guys a little bit of a story about turning on the bike there. Look at that. A story about the times that I nearly got killed by lions in Africa. I think we're going to drive off here and just watch on the right here as I drive out and nearly kill myself from a car that's going way too quickly. Okay, we're going to do it here in 3. I'm going to accelerate like a moron. And there's a car right on my arse here. You guys can't see that, but it's going way too fast. So those of you who know me and have been watching my channel for a while will know that I grew up in Africa. Now this was an awesome experience, but believe me when I say that as a child growing up in Africa with a father like I had, I love my dad, but he doesn't know which way is up on occasion. We nearly got killed on several occasions by lions. I grew up in the city in Nairobi in Kenya, and that is basically normal city, big city. It's all very normal, but around the city in several places around Kenya, you have national parks. Now, national parks are huge nature reserves, basically, where nature is just let to get on with its thing, and you get all kinds of animals there. And in these national parks you can go visit. They have hotels there, and they have closed off, like, really expensive, posh, fancy camping sites where they have like 4-post beds and that kind of stuff. But in the ones that we always went to, because my dad was a bit of a cheapskate, there was no protection whatsoever. There was no fence, there was no armed guards, nothing protecting us except our own tent material from nature, and it is like king of the jungle out there. On the first time when we went out there, I think we were there for about a year. Like, I was 8 years old, my sister below me, 2 years below me, was 6, and my brother was 4. And my dad decided to, yeah, you know what, guys, we don't need to go out and stay in a normal campsite. No, we don't need the fence and protection of armed guards. No, that's we don't need all that. We're just gonna go to a little campsite. It's not protected or anything like that, and we're gonna have a blast. And we're like, yeah, Dad, sure. Like, we all trusted my dad. He was the provider of the family. He seemed really big and strong. But then when I got older, I realized he's only 5'8", and I'm a lot taller than him. And he couldn't probably protect us from anything. But at the time we were like, yeah, sure, no worries, Dad, no worries. So we all set up a little campsite. We bring our own tents and we go to sleep. About 2 o'clock in the morning, we wake up, and I wake up and bear in mind I'm 8 years old at this point, and there's a light flashing into our tent, like a flashlight, like shaking into our tent. What the hell is that? I open like the little zippy part of the tent and I look out, and my dad is there, and out on this, like, each of these campsites have these little outback brick buildings that are really rudimental, not very well designed at all. Like imagine like a brick shed where you have a little hole in the bottom where you poop out of. That's exactly what it was. So he was in there and he was shining the torch, like trying to get our attention in the tent. And we were like, oh, okay, Dad, what's going on? And he shines. We hear this, like, next to us, we hear this little growl. We're like, oh, what the hell is that? Even though I was 8 years old, I realized, like, this can get real bad real quickly. So we had this, like, so we kind of went back into our tent. We had this growling, and again louder, and these, like, padding of heavy feet all around the tent. And Dad shines the torch onto the tent, and there was a lion, and it was in between us and him, and we could see the shadow of the lion against the tent. And, like, if you go to those, like, shadow puppet shows, that was basically what it was. But instead of a puppet, it was a real life fucking lion, and it was, like, checking out the tent, and it could smell these 3 tasty snacks. My brother, my sister, and I, 8, 6, and 4 years old, just lying like little bloody chipolatas inside of this tent and just waiting for the inevitable death. So it was crazy if you think about it. But the only thing that was stopping that lion from getting to us was this little bit of tent tarpaulin that the tiger didn't realize. The lion, tigers in Africa, but the lion didn't realize what it was, and it was kind of getting more interested, and we could hear my brother started kind of like getting a bit scared, and my dad, knowing full well he could do absolutely nothing at this point, was just like trying to distract the lions away from the tent and his 3 small children. My mum wasn't with us, and he was just probably thinking in his head, like, oh God, if I just, first time we go on safari in Africa, And I tell my wife, oh, sorry, darling, my three beloved children, one beloved eldest child, aka Duke Blade, and the two semi-okay children, aka his brother and sister, just eaten by lions. Sorry, obviously wouldn't go down too well. So he was trying to shine his light at this lion and everything, and it wasn't really having any of it. And it kept scratching. It literally scratched the tent. And if the lion wanted to, it could easily just scratch the tent. It would be absolutely destination fucked. Very soon after that, friends of ours who were on a nighttime safari came back in their big Land Rover and they saw the lion surrounding the tent and started honking and honking and the thing managed to bugger off. But oh god, can you imagine the trauma to the world if I'd been snapped up by that thing.
So the second time that my father nearly got me, my brother and my sister... Stop it, Gabriella. If you can hear any munching going on in the background, it's Gabby who's decided. Well, I bought her a bag of crisps. Her favourite bag of crisps. You munch like a
cow.
Like a cow. So the second time that my dad nearly killed me, my brother, and my sister when we were in Africa was when we were again on safari, just chilling, you know, minding our own business, driving around. I think it was a couple years in this time. You know, having a good time. And, you know, as you are when you're young children and you've had copious quantities of Coca-Cola that's in the car, you know, you need to have a wee. So we were just like, alright, we're in the middle of nowhere, 100 miles that way, 100 miles that way, 100 miles that way, 100 miles that way, 100 miles around, like you couldn't, there was nothing, there was only the bush, the nature, the national park. We were like, okay, well what do we do? Okay, you're gonna get out the car, but you're always told at these places, do not get out of your car. My dad was like, I'll be fine, no worries, easy peasy. We hadn't seen any lions or any like dangerous animals the whole day. How bad could it be? I get out of the car, my dad goes onto so we had like a roof opening of the car. So he goes on the roof, has a look around, can't see anything. He's like, right, all clear mate, no worries. Sends his little, I think I was about 10 at the time, sends his little 10-year-old out to have a wee. So I was standing by a tree, just like, you know, having a little wee. I then turn around and I hear a rustling in the bushes and I obviously start freaking out because at a young age you think the worst, right? So I then start running back to the car and my dad, you see, I saw his face just go absolutely pale, absolutely pale. He kind of says like, run? Just run now, fast. I ran, I jumped in the car and then out of the bushes comes 2 lions, literally. Just as I got into the car. The third time, actually, I think it was only 2 with lions. The third time was actually with a snake. It's called a puff adder. They're not very nice. They're not really things you'd like to have, you know, as a pet or cuddle in bed with you. They're really like disgusting, very fat, short-ish, but very fat snakes. And they have very, very long fangs. And the problem about puff adders is they don't move. Most snakes when you're walking around, I've been bit by a snake before. I got bitten by a green mamba, but that's another story. But in this occasion, thankfully no one got bit, but it was pretty close. But usually, 9 times out of 10, the snake will move. It'll feel the vibrations in the ground, and it will move before you get close to it. Because it doesn't want to fuck with you, and you know, you don't want to fuck with the snake, obviously. But puff adders are a bit different. They're lazy. They don't want to move. They're like 55-year-old unemployed single man who lives in his mum's basement. They don't want to move. So we go out on safari, we come back, and my brother, quite young, not really kind of well versed in keeping everyone safe, left the zip of the tent open. We didn't really notice, everyone was like doing their thing and stuff. I lie down on the sleeping bag, and thankfully I don't get in the sleeping bag. I lied on top of the sleeping bag, and I felt this really horrible muscly thing inside the sleeping bag. And it started freaking out, and it was a snake. But you know, we knew that it was a snake, so we got the sleeping bag, threw it out the tent. It was like all rounded up, so the snake couldn't like get out. And then we drove over it in the Land Rover. Animal rights people say, oh, why'd you run it over? It was just a puff adder. No, me. It literally was life or death. I don't care that puff adder's dying. Anyway guys, thanks for watching this video. Like, I appreciate you. I know I've been a bit slow with the uploading recently. Thank you so much for 4,000 subscribers. You guys are awesome. Honestly, it's an absolute pleasure. Love you all to death. Peace out guys. See you in the next video. Ciao.
Leo.